The wolf on the hill is always as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. It's not easy to go it alone, but if you keep moving forward and stay true to yourself, it will be worth it in the end. The hardest journey you can undertake is the one you make alone, but that's the journey that makes you the strongest. It's the path that builds your character the most. To all of you fighting battles alone, those of you going against the grain and battling the naysayers, stay strong and keep going. This path is challenging, but the hardest journeys led to the greatest destinations. The toughest climbs always offer the best views. It will be worth it in the end. If you show what you are made of, the right people will come into your life. You won't be a lone wolf forever. You have qualities that only a few can admire, because most do not possess them. You have strength that only a few can understand, because most have never experienced it. So don't give up, don't settle, and don't lower your expectations. Prove to the world that you were born to stand out and lead. Lead the pack. They say the wolf on the hill is never as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Always be that wolf climbing the hill, constantly hungry for more, striving to grow, feeding your mind, and reaching for the highest level you can achieve. Never look back. Always look forward to the next challenge. Feast on success in whatever you do. It doesn't matter if you have to walk alone for a while. It is far better to walk alone in the right direction than to follow the herd moving in the wrong direction. Stay strong and be different. Your destiny is in your hands. Go out there and chase it. In the vast wilderness of life, there's a creature that stands apart from the rest, solitary, determined, and fiercely independent. I'm talking about the lone. Now, you might be thinking, why would I want to be alone? Is not success all about networking and connections? Well, let me tell you something. In a world that's constantly pushing us to conform, to follow the herd, there's immense power in charting your own course. You see, the lone wolf doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't look for approval. It simply goes after what it wants with unwavering focus. And that, my friends, is the key to true success and fulfillment in life. Let's break this down, shall we? What does it really mean to walk alone like a lone wolf? First and foremost, it's about self-reliance. The lone wolf doesn't depend on others for its survival. It owns its skills, sharpens its instincts, and takes full responsibility for its life. Now, I'm not saying you should cut yourself off from everyone. No, that's not the point. The point is to develop such a strong sense of self that you don't crumble when others aren't there to prop you up. How many times have you held back from pursuing your dreams because you were waiting for someone else's approval? How often have you dimmed your light because you were afraid of outshining others? That's not the way of the lone wolf, and it shouldn't be your way either. When you learn to walk alone, you free yourself from the shackles of other people's expectations. You no longer live your life based on what your parents want, what society dictates, or what your peers think is cool. You live on your own terms. And let me tell you, there's no freedom quite like it. Walking alone is not easy. It takes courage. It takes guts. It takes a level of self-belief that most people never cultivate. The path of the lone wolf is often rocky, filled with obstacles and challenges. But you know what? That's exactly what makes it worthwhile. When you choose to walk alone, you are choosing growth over comfort. You are choosing authenticity over fitting in. You are choosing to live a life that's true to you, not a life that's expected of you. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but what about teamwork? What about collaboration? And you are right to ask these questions. After all, we humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection. But here's the secret. The strongest teams are made up of individuals who know how to stand on their own 2 feet. Think about any great leader in history. They didn't become great by following the crowd. They became great by having the courage to stand apart, to voice unpopular opinions, to take roads less traveled. They became great by embracing their inner lone wolf. So how do we cultivate this lone wolf mentality? Well, it starts with self-awareness. You need to really know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your dreams. Because when you know who you are and what you stand for, you won't be swayed by every wind of opinion that blows your way. Next, you need to develop mental toughness. The lone wolf doesn't give up when things get tough. It doesn't whine or complain. It adapts, it perseveres, it keeps moving forward. And that's exactly what you need to do. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. People will doubt you. There will be setbacks and failures. But when you have the mentality of a lone wolf, none of that can stop you. You keep your eyes on your goal and you keep pushing forward no matter what. Fear is the number one reason why people don't walk alone. They are afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of the unknown. But here's the truth. Fear is just a feeling. It's not a fact. It's not a command. It's simply a sensation in your body, and you can choose how to respond to it. The lone wolf feels fear, but it doesn't let fear control its actions. Instead, it uses fear as fuel. It lets fear sharpen its senses and heighten its awareness. And that's exactly what you need to do. Don't run from fear. Face it head on. Use it to propel you forward. Let me share a little secret with you. The most successful people in the world, the ones who've truly made a difference, they all know how to walk alone. They've all embraced their inner lone wolf. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions or for everyone to agree with them. They saw what needed to be done, and they did it regardless of what others thought. Think about the great innovators of our time, the ones who've revolutionized industries, created groundbreaking technologies, changed the way we live our lives. Do you think they achieved all that by following the crowd? No way. They achieved it by having the courage to think differently, to challenge the status quo, to walk a path that no one else had walked before. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Walking alone can be scary. It can be lonely at times. There will be moments when you have doubt yourself, when you have wondered if you are on the right path. But let me tell you something. Those moments of doubt, those challenges, those dark nights of the soul, that's where the real growth happens. It's in those moments that you discover what you are truly made of. It's in those moments that you build the strength, the resilience, the character that will carry you through life. It's in those moments that you truly become a lone wolf. When you learn to walk alone, when you embrace your uniqueness and have the courage to be yourself, that's when you have attract the right people into your life. You have find your tribe, your pack, not people who want to change you or control you, but people who appreciate you for who you truly are. There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. The lone wolf is not lonely. It's independent. It's self-sufficient. It knows its worth is not determined by its popularity or its social circle. Its worth comes from within. And that's the key, my friends. Your worth, your value, it doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from likes on social media or applause from the crowd. It comes from knowing who you are and living in alignment with your values. When you walk alone like a lone wolf, you are not doing it for anyone else's approval. You are doing it because it's the only way to live an authentic life. You are doing it because you know that your unique gifts, your unique perspective, your unique voice, they matter. They are needed in this world. One of the biggest advantages of walking alone is that you get to make your own decisions. You are not constantly compromising your dreams to fit in with someone else's plans. You are not putting your life on hold while waiting for others to catch up. The lone wolf decides where it wants to go, and then it goes there. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't wait for a committee approval. It assesses the situation, makes a decision, and acts. And that's exactly what you need to do in your life. Too many people are living lives of quiet desperation because they are afraid to make decisions. They are paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. But here's the truth. There are no wrong choices. There are only choices and consequences. And when you have the mentality of a lone wolf, you are not afraid of consequences. You know that whatever happens, you can handle it. This kind of decisive action is what separates the doers from the dreamers. It's what separates those who make things happen from those who wonder what happened. When you walk alone, you are not waiting for anyone's permission to start living your dreams. You are not putting your life on hold while you wait for the perfect moment. You are creating that perfect moment right now through your actions and decisions. But let's be clear about something. Walking alone doesn't mean you don't value relationships or that you don't work well with others. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you know how to walk alone, you bring much more value to your relationships and your teams. When you are not dependent on others for your sense of worth or direction, you are free to truly connect with them. You are not trying to manipulate them to get what you want. You are not trying to control them out of your own insecurities. You are simply there, present and authentic, ready to collaborate and create something greater than what any of you could do alone. This is the true power of the lone wolf mentality. It's not about isolation. It's about independence. It's about being so secure in who you are that you can form genuine connections with others without losing yourself in the process. Now let's talk about failure for a moment. One of the biggest fears that keep people from walking alone is the fear of failure. They are afraid of making mistakes, of looking foolish, of not measuring up to some imaginary standard. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every innovation, they all came after a series of failures. The lone wolf doesn't fear failure. It sees failure as feedback, as a learning opportunity, as a stepping stone to success. When you walk alone, you give yourself permission to fail. You understand that failure doesn't define you. It refines you. It shapes you. It makes you stronger, wiser, more resilient. And that, my friends, is how you become unstoppable. How many times have you held back from trying something new because you were afraid of failing? How many dreams have you put on the back burner because you were worried about what others might think if you didn't succeed right away? Well, it's time to let go of that fear. It's time to embrace failure as a natural part of the growth process. It's time to give yourself permission to try, to stumble, to fall, and to get back up again. Because that's what the lone wolf does. That's what all great achievers do. Now, I want to address something important. Walking alone doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel every time. It doesn't mean you can't learn from others or seek advice when you need it. The lone wolf is smart. It observes, it learns, it adapts. In the same way, you should always be learning, always be growing. Read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, seek out mentors. But here's the key. Don't just blindly follow what others say. Take what resonates with you, what aligns with your values and your goals, and leave the rest. Walking alone is not about isolation. It's about integration. It's about taking the best of what you learn and integrating it into your own unique path. It's about being influenced without being controlled. It's about standing on the shoulders of giants while charting your own course. This brings me to another crucial point, the importance of continuous growth. The lone wolf is always evolving, always adapting to its environment. And in today's fast-paced world, that's exactly what you need to do. The skills that got you where you are today won't necessarily get you where you want to go tomorrow. The world is changing at an unprecedented rate, and if you are not growing, you are falling behind. But here's the beautiful thing about walking alone. You get to decide what you want to learn. You get to chart your own growth path. You are not limited by someone else's curriculum or someone else's idea of what you should know. You can dive deep into the subjects that fascinate you, develop the skills that align with your goals, and become an expert in your chosen field. This kind of self-directed learning is incredibly powerful. It allows you to develop a unique skill set, a unique perspective that sets you apart from the crowd. And in a world where conformity is the norm, that uniqueness is your greatest asset. Time is the most precious resource we have. It's the one thing we can never get back. And when you walk alone, you get to decide how you spend your time. You are not wasting hours in meaningless meetings or activities that don't align with your goals. You are not letting others dictate your schedule or your priorities. You are in control of your time, and you use it wisely to move closer to your dreams. This doesn't mean you become a workaholic or that you never relax. The lone wolf's the importance of rest, of recharging its batteries. It's about finding the right balance, about using your time in a way that energizes you and moves you forward. When you walk alone, you become acutely aware of the value of your time. You start to guard it fiercely, to invest it wisely. You say no to things that don't serve your purpose, and you say yes to opportunities that align with your goal. And that, my friends, is how you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Now, I want to address something that many people struggle with when they start to walk alone: the opinions of others. When you choose to chart your own path, when you decide to live life on your own terms, not everyone will understand. Some people might criticize you, doubt you, or try to pull you back into the comfort of conformity. Their opinions are just that, opinions. They are not facts. They are not commandments. They are simply the views of other people filtered through their own fears, their own limiting beliefs, their own life experiences. The lone wolf doesn't let the howls of the pack dictate its actions. It stays true to its path, regardless of what others think. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to develop such a strong sense of self, such a clear vision of where you are going, that the opinions of others can't shake you. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or close-minded. It doesn't mean you stop listening to others or considering different perspectives. It simply means that at the end of the day, you make your own decisions based on what you believe is right for you. Remember, most people who criticize your dreams, who try to hold you back, they are not doing it out of malice. They are doing it out of their own fear, their own sense of limitation. They are projecting their own doubts and insecurities onto you. And the best thing you can do is to prove them wrong through your actions, through your success. Let's talk about comfort zones for a moment. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. The lone wolf knows this. It constantly pushes its boundaries, explores new territories, takes calculated risks. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want to achieve greatness. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You need to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. You need to step into the unknown with courage and determination. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. You build confidence, you become more resilient. And with each step, with each challenge overcome, you become more and more unstoppable. Now, I want to address something that's crucial for anyone walking the path of the lone wolf: self-care. You see, when you are charting your own course, when you are pushing yourself to grow and achieve, it's easy to fall into the trap of burnout. But the true lone wolf knows the importance of self-care. It's not about being selfish. It's about understanding that you are your most valuable asset. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best to your work, your relationships, your dreams if you are running on empty. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Eat well, exercise regularly, get enough sleep. Take time to relax, to recharge, to do things that bring you joy. Meditate, read, spend time in nature. Whatever it is that fills your cup, make sure you're doing it regularly. Remember, walking alone is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And to go the distance, you need to be in top form physically, mentally. The lone wolf always has its eyes on the horizon. It knows where it's going, even if it can't see the entire path. And that's exactly what you need: a clear vision of where you want to go. Your vision is your North Star. It's what guides you when the path gets tough. It's what keeps you moving forward when others doubt you. It's what helps you make decisions, set priorities, and stay focused. Your vision needs to be your own, not something imposed on you by society or your parents or your peers. It needs to come from your heart, from your deepest desires and values. Because when your vision is truly your own, you have the passion and the perseverance to pursue it, no matter what obstacles you face. And speaking of obstacles, let's address them head on. When you choose to walk alone, when you decide to chart your own path, you will face obstacles. There will be setbacks, challenges, moments of doubt. But here's the secret. These obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to test you, to strengthen you, to prove how badly you want your dreams. The lone wolf doesn't see obstacles as roadblocks. It sees them as hurdles to overcome, as challenges that will make it stronger, faster, more resilient. And that's exactly how you need to view the obstacles in your life. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a chance to learn. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. When you adopt this mindset, you become unstoppable. Because no matter what life throws at you, you know you can handle it. You know you'll come out stronger on the other side. Something that's often misunderstood about walking alone, it doesn't mean you have to do everything by yourself. Even the lone wolf knows when to join forces with others for a common goal. The key is to collaborate from a position of strength, not dependency. When you are secure in who you are, when you are clear about your path, you can engage with others in a way that's mutually beneficial. You bring your unique strengths to the table and you appreciate the strengths of others. You are not looking for someone to complete you. You are already complete. You are looking for people who complement you, who challenge you to grow. This is how you build powerful alliances, meaningful relationships, and successful teams. Not by losing yourself in the crowd, but by bringing your whole, authentic self to every interaction. Let's address another crucial aspect of walking alone, the power of your thoughts. You see, the lone wolf's greatest strength is not in its teeth or claws. It's in its mind. And the same is true for you. Your thoughts shape your reality. They influence your emotions, your decisions, your actions. When you walk alone, you have the power and the responsibility to master your thoughts, to choose empowering beliefs over limiting ones, to focus on solutions rather than problems, to cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. This is not about positive thinking or ignoring reality. It's about seeing reality clearly and choosing to respond in a way that serves you. It's about training your mind to look for opportunities, to find the silver lining, to see the lesson in every experience. When you master your thoughts, you master your life. You become the architect of your destiny, not a victim of circumstances. You create your own luck, your own opportunities, your own success. Something that's rarely discussed but incredibly important, the power of solitude. In our hyper-connected world, we've lost the art of being alone. We're constantly surrounded by noise, by distractions, by the opinions of others. But the lone wolf knows the value of solitude. It knows that in the quiet moments, away from the chaos of the world, is where true clarity comes, where creativity flourishes, where we connect with our deepest. So don't be afraid of solitude. Embrace it. Use it as a tool for self-discovery, for reflection, for recharging your batteries. Some of your best ideas, your most profound insights will come when you're alone with your thoughts. This doesn't mean you become a hermit. It means you find a balance between connection and solitude. You engage with the world, but you also take time to disconnect, to go within, to listen to your own inner voice. Let's address another crucial aspect of walking alone, the importance of integrity. The lone wolf doesn't change its nature to please others. It stays true to itself no matter what. And that's exactly what you need to do. Integrity means aligning your actions with your values. It means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It means keeping your word to yourself and to others. When you walk with integrity, you build trust in yourself and in your relationships with others. This is not always easy. There will be times when compromising your values might seem like the easier path. But remember, short-term comfort often comes at the cost of long-term fulfillment. When you stay true to your values, you might face challenges in the short term, but you sleep better at night. You have the satisfaction of knowing you are living an authentic life. Resilience. Life will knock you down. That's a given. The question is, will you stay down or will you get back up? The lone wolf doesn't give up when things get tough. It adapts. It perseveres. It keeps moving forward no matter what. And that's exactly what you need to do. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every failure is a lesson. Every obstacle is an opportunity to prove how badly you want your dreams. When you develop this kind of resilience, you become unstoppable because it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Let's address something that many people struggle with when they start to walk alone. The fear of missing out. In a world that's constantly connected, where everyone's highlight reel is on display, it's easy to feel like you are missing out on something. When you are clear about your path, when you are focused on your goals, you are not missing out. You are prioritizing what truly matters to you over what society says should matter. The lone wolf doesn't worry about what's happening in other parts of the forest. It stays focused on its path, on its hunt. And that's exactly what you need to do. Stay focused on your goals. Trust in your path. Know that by saying no to what doesn't serve you, you are saying yes to what truly matters. Walking alone like a lone wolf is not about isolation. It's about independence. It's about having the courage to be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else. It's about charting your own course, living life on your own terms, and having the strength to pursue your dreams, no matter what obstacles you face. Remember, the path of the lone wolf is not the easiest path, but it's the path that leads to true fulfillment, to a life lived with purpose and authenticity. So embrace your inner lone wolf. Trust in your journey, and know that with every step you take on your unique path, you are not just changing your life. You are inspiring others to do the same. The world doesn't need more sheep. It needs more lone wolves. People who have the courage to think differently, to challenge the status quo, to blaze new trails. So go forth, be bold, be brave. Walk alone like a lone wolf, and watch as you create a life beyond your wildest dreams.